Hey, welcome everybody. It is Tony Porter, Universal Baseball Association YouTube channel, and we are playing Field Day Baseball. Hope everybody's doing well. And we're right about to get started. We are playing game 7 of the season against the Seattle Mariners in California. And on the mound will be Jezon for the Angels and Jim Beattie, who had an outstanding season for the Seattle Mariners. As you can see, I'm using the tall pitcher cards now. I was able to print those out, and it just adds another dimension to it. I'm going to roll and see what row we'll use. It's a 2, so he'll have his numbers of 3-2-2-2. That's his rating for this game, and Beattie will have 3, which is a 2-3-2-6. So we should have a pretty good pitching game. We'll see what happens. You never know for sure. But let's get started and let's look at the lineup. Let's look at the lineup quickly here. It will be Julio Cruz leading off, Castillo batting second, Bruce Bochy batting third. It is Richie Zisk, the cleanup batter. Al Cowens batting fifth. I recognize a lot of these names, but they seem to be getting up there in age. A guy named Mailer, is it? Is that how you pronounce that name? I have to check that out. Jim Essien, he's been around for a while. Dave Henderson, another guy who's been around for a while, and Todd Cruz. So we'll look at the defense for the Angels in the infield. It's at third. DeCinces, Burleson, Grich is in the lineup for the first time. And so he's coming off some sort of injury. Carew and Boone behind the plate. Downing in left, Lynn in center, and Reginald Martinez Jackson, who's gotten off to a torrid start here hitting wise, is in right field. So let's close that up. And let's put that, we'll put that down here. Hide my scary hand. All right, let's get started. Let's play some ball. Game plays pretty quickly. Jim Beattie is 1-0 with a 1.29 ERA, and Jeff Zahn is 0-0 with a 3.18 ERA. And here comes Julio Cruz, second baseman, age 27. I'm going to be looking at the ages. And that's going to be a 45. A 45 will be lifted to left. And that'll be the first out. Under it is Downing, one away. So I rolled 45. I look right here. Got to do that on when I do play season ticket baseball. Somebody asked me for that. Manny Castillo. Manny Castillo plays the infield, second baseman, third baseman. He is 25 years old. So they got some young players. 15 and a 15 will be lifted to left center field again. And over is Downing. So Downing gets the first 2 fly balls off of Zahn, although Zahn is more of a ground ball pitcher. And then a 23 will be again lifted to left down the line. And into the corner goes Downing and runs that one down. So 3 putouts to the left fielder, Downing. All right, here comes the Angels, who are so far 4-2, and they've been beating the heck out of the ball. It's going to be Brian Downing leading off, but they got a good pitcher they're facing here. 53. Now 53 is going to be a range check. A to E on the center fielder. Center fielder is Henderson. I'm curious about Henderson's. Dave Henderson was only 23. I'm thinking about a different Henderson. So he's a young Henderson. All right, so he is a center fielder of a C. So he'll make a nice running catch in the gap. F8. One down. Brian Downing flies out. He's leading off today. Let's look at that lineup so you can see that quickly as well. California lineup is Downing, Lynn, Carew, Jackson, Grich, Baylor, DeCinces, Burleson, and Boone. Sounds like an all-star team. I remember as a kid looking up at that team and saying, wow, all these guys are really good. All right. Here is Freddie Lynn. He's ready to roll. Pitch to Lynn. And a 42, which should be a base on balls. Under 3. Yep. Ball 4. Next is Rod Carew, 34. And the 34 will not be a hit. because his hit is a rating of a 2. So it's going to be a ground ball to Cruz, flips to Cruz, back to first, and it's a 4-6-3 double play. So the Angels are retired, and we go to the top of the second. Richie Zisk with a 66. That's a deep drive to left, way back. That ball is out of here. Home run. And the Mariners take a 1-0 lead on a Richie Zisk blast. Took that fastball that hung out over the middle of the plate a little bit too much. And he blasted it into the seats in left field. And here's Al Cowens. Cowens is 30. Man, he's been around a long time. Richie Zisk is 33. Here's the pitch, 22, and that's bounced to third. Easy play for DeCinces. And this guy is a new guy, Mailer. I think is how you pronounce his name, Jim Mailer. Okay. We'll call him Mailer. As far as I cannot find his name anymore, I don't care. So let's roll for him. It's a 32, and that's going to be a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. And there's not shaded, so there will be no stolen base there. So Jim Mailer, who did have 240 plate appearances in 64 games, hit 4 home runs, 8 doubles, 3 triples, manages a single with 1 out here, and he's on base. Here's Jim Essien. The pitch, and a 35, and a 35 will be a line drive to right. Right there's Jackson, L9. And 35, just make sure. Yep. All right. Next up is Dave Henderson. 21, and a 21 will be a swing and a miss. Chases a high fastball. And that ends the inning. We're at the bottom of the second. Reggie Jackson, number 44. Pitch, and that's a 62. Struck him out. Bobby Grich, now his first at bat of the season. And it's a 52, and that's a ground ball through the hole into left field. Will Bhakti make an error? That's what we got to check. The 52 error rating is from left field is a 0, so he will not make a throwing error. So it is a single for Bobby Grich. He's 1 for 1, batting 1,000 in the season. Don Baylor, 45, and a 45 will be a high fly left field. Backing up is Bhakti, and he makes the catch. 2 down. Here's Doug DeCinces with a 52, and that'll be a ground ball to third. Knocks it down. Will he make a wild throw? That's the question. Castillo, let's see. Where is Castillo? Castillo at third base for a wild throw would be a 13. And we do not roll a 13. All right. So let's see here. It's a single, runner advances, 1 base, I believe. So that was DeCinces. Yes, it's a 1 base advance. Okay, so runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Burleson at the plate. The Rooster, here's the pitch, and that's a 31. That'll be a base hit. And we got to check the speed, Y and X. So it'll be, I play it conservatively, and it's a single. Bases will play, because there is a rule where if you're an X, you become an XY with 2 outs. I could add that, and I may start adding that, but it's just another thing to keep track of. But I haven't done that yet. So anyway. So bases are loaded. I scored plenty of runs without it. So Bob Boone with a 34, and that'll be an out. That's going to be a ground ball to short, and that'll end the inning. 6-4. And we go to the top of the third. As you can see, this game moves along quite well. Todd Cruz leading off with a 36, and that's a 4-6 double, but 2 is only a 3. So that's a line drive center field. On the run is Lynn, and Lynn comes up with it. So he mashes one to center, but Lynn tracks it down with a good jump, read it well off the bat, and here's Julio Cruz, a 64. And the 64 will be a tapper right back to the pitcher, who flips it to the first baseman for out number 2. And here's Manny Castillo. Castillo played the whole season, 140 games with a 260 average, so not too shabby. I don't see him as a great second baseman or third baseman. 64, and a 64 will be tapped to second base. Grich charges, bare hands, and throws to first, and that retires the side. Bottom of the third. The pitch to Brian Downing, grounded to short, 1 down. Freddie Lynn is next. And a 52 is a line drive base hit right field. Will Collins make a throwing error? Let's see if he has that ability. He does not have the ability. Oh, yeah. 25. Nope. So no throwing error. Okay, so that's a single for Lynn here with 1 out. And he's on at first. And next up is Rod Carew. Here's a pitch. And that's a 43. And that's a 3-6 base on balls. He is a 3, so that's ball 4. So a free pass to Carew puts two men on and 1 out. Here's Reggie Jackson, the pitch. And that's a 14, which is a hard hit ball at the first baseman, Mailer, who goes to Cruz at second. Back to Mailer. And it's a G3-6-3 double play, and the inning's over. Bruce Bhakti leads off here in the top of the 4th. As you can see, this game flies, and it's a swing and a miss, and he strikes out. Chases the curveball in the dirt. And here is Zisk with a 64, and that'll be a tapper right back to the pitcher. 2 away. Al Cowens. Everything's off the cards here. Strike 3 called. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Bobby Grich. He's ready to roll. He's 1 for 1 on the season. The pitch. And it's a 12, and that's ball 4. So Grich batted 261 with almost 20 home runs. He played the full season. Very consistent player. Here's Don Baylor with a 12, and that's a base hit single. Now, there's nobody out, so we're going to hold on that. With 1 out, I would make it an assist going to third, but we don't want to make the first out at third base, so we're going to avoid that. Doug DeCinces is up with runners on first and second, nobody out. The pitch, and that's a 13, which will be a high fly ball, center field. A couple of steps in is Henderson, and he squeezes it for the out number 1. Next is Rick Burleson. The pitch, a 41, should be a base on balls, and it is, ball 4. So that's going to load the bases for the Angels here in the bottom of the 4th. The Angels trail by 1. But they have a big opportunity here. It's Bob Boone. He's a 256 hitter, 7 home runs, played the whole season. And the pitch, and that's going to be a 66, and that's a base hit single. Only 1 run will come in on this, so he obviously didn't have a lot of RBIs. And didn't hit a lot of extra base hits. But up comes Brian Downing. The game is tied at 1 now. Bob Boone with that single. Here's the pitch, and that is a 36, a 3-6, a double. And no, it's going to be a line out to center field. And if Castillo is a reckless runner, he will try to score and runs the risk. He is not a reckless runner, but I will try to score him anyway. A 1-2-3, he is safe, and he is safe on a sacrifice fly. So it's a fly ball, center field, runner on third scores. And Freddie Lynn. Freddie Lynn is up with runners on first and second, and the Angels have taken a 2-1 lead. Here's the pitch, and it's a 64, which will be a swing and a miss, and he strikes out, and that ends the inning. But the Angels pick up a couple of runs. We go to the top of the 5th. I'm Tony Porter. This is Universal Baseball Association YouTube channel. Join Universal Baseball Association Facebook group and all the other affiliated groups, including the Field Day Baseball group, where you get a lot of information. All right, Jim Mailer, I guess you would pronounce it. Somebody can correct me on that. And that is a 5 or a 6, and that will be a fly ball, left field, 1 down. So Jeff Zahn doing a good job today so far, knock on wood. Fly ball left field again, down the line. On the run is Downing, and Downing catches up to it. I was always fascinated by Downing. I knew he was a catcher. Why was he in left field, and why was he leading off? That was so weird to me at the time when I was in my teens. And here he grounds out. This is Dave Henderson who grounds out to Burleson to end the inning. And let's get that in there. All right, first game of the day. Slept pretty well. A lot of midnight snacks though, so I'm gonna have to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables today. So it's a 44 on Carew, and that's gonna be a hard hit ball up the middle. And Cruz gets there. Todd Cruz over to first in time to get Carew. Reggie Jackson's next with a 42, and that'll probably be a base on balls, and it is. So Reggie walks. Next up is Bobby Grich. The pitch to Grich, and it's that's a drive in the gap, and we're going to try to score Reggie. Left field assist. Who is the left fielder? He is Bhakti, and we're going to try to score Reggie. And Bhakti is a 24 assist from left field, and it's a 65, so there will be no assist from left field. He will come around to score, and going to second will be Grich. So it's double to F7, runner on first, safe, and runner at the plate advances one on the throw. So Grich should be at second base, and he is not. I got to undo that. Undo, and oh wait, did Grich hit a double? Okay, so that was right. Oh no, I did that right. Oh God, let's do that again. All right, so it was a double to left to fly ball 7. So then runner on first scores, and then runner 0 advances 1 base on the error. I'm sorry, on the throw. There we go. Perfect. All right, so Bobby Grich is making a big difference here. This is the first game of the season that he plays, and he's already contributed. He's picked up an RBI. He's got a couple of hits. Don Baylor. Don Baylor's been having a good start to his season, batting .296 with 2 home runs. Here's the pitch, and that is a 16, which will be a grounder to short. And my infield was back. I didn't call my infield. I'm going to call the infield in because I just didn't think about it, and I don't want to be unfair. So, and we got a roll and a 6. He will hole on this. G6. Runner on third holes. A 1 or a 2 would have been a base hit. A 3 would have been a range check. The Sensei's 45. Fly ball left field. And that'll end the inning. But the Angels pick up another run. They lead it 3-1. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Todd Cruz leading off against Zahn with a 46, and a 46 will be bounced down the line, and it's a backhanded by DeCinces. Long throw to first in time to get the speedy Cruz. Here's Julio Cruz, 24, and that'll be a swing and a miss. He strikes out. Manny Castillo with a 24, and that's bounced to first. First baseman. Carew will take it himself. 3 up, 3 down. Super easy inning. Jim Beatty, or Beatty, still in there. And he's going to be facing Rick Burleson with a 64, and that'll be a strikeout. Next is Boone with a 14. Now bounce to second base. Easy pick for Cruz. 2 away. So far, super easy inning for Jim Beatty. And Brian Downing with a 52. Oh, that's going to be a smash to the third baseman. Will he make an error on the throw? So it's going to be a single, but will it have an error? Oh, it's a likelihood that they're 13, not a big likelihood. And no error. Okay, so it's going to be. So it's interesting that this game distinguishes balls that you just, a drop versus throws, wild throws, right? So it's going to be a single for Brian Downing with 2 outs. And next up is Freddie Lynn, pitch, and that's a 13, which will be a fly ball lifted to center. Right there is Henderson, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the 7th inning. What a game! 3-1, Angels. All right, top of the 7th, 3-1 Angels. Let's see. It is Zahn versus Bruce Bhakti. And here is the pitch by Jeff Zahn. And he's on the verge of running out of stamina. So it's a center field AB, and Freddie Lynn is so it's a drive in the gap. Will he get cut off or will he get caught? He is a C, so it's actually a B, and it drops in there for a base hit single. So it's a single for Bhakti to lead off here, the top of the 7th inning. And next up is Richie Zisk. So we're going to pull Jeff Zahn. He's not a type of guy that goes complete games. So we're going to pull him for whom? Let's see. We are going to pull him for somebody. And it's going to be, you know what? We're going to go with 15%, 9%, can't afford long rotation. 25. Let's see who I haven't used all that much. Rotation spot. Angel Moreno's in the rotation. Andy Hassler. So we're going to call on Andy Hassler here. See if he can help us out of this situation, which is just getting started. Hopefully it doesn't go beyond the one runner on. So I have the tall pitcher cards. Somebody recommended that. They said, hey, why don't you try the tall pitcher cards? That way you can just roll. Sometimes I actually grab the pitcher and I forget to roll, and I use the previous roll from the previous pitcher. But I'm gonna try to remember not to do that. So there's Andy Hassler. So I'm gonna roll for him, and he will have his 6 stuff, which is a 2, which is good, 5, which is not good, 2 is good, and 3 is good. So Hassler actually is pretty good with a 2.77 ERA in 54 games. So he's going to be, dealing with a right-hander, Zisk. And we're ready to roll. See what happens. Here's the pitch. And that's a 43, and a 43 will be a base on balls. Yeah, because at a 6, he's a 5, so that's a walk. So 2 runners are on with nobody out here. Zisk is on at first. And Zisk is a tying run. We're going to pinch run for him because he is not. He's a slow runner. So we're going to pinch run for Zisk. He is a tying run. And let's get somebody a little bit more speedy in there, like a guy. No, I can't use him. We're going to call on Paul Cerna. Paul Cerna will run. Let's grab him, his card. You do get all the players with this game for $20, which is, you cannot complain. Everybody is carded, which is fantastic for a guy like me who likes to use everybody that was available sometimes, right? Sometimes I don't. Paul Cerna is a YR, so we're going to use him. And he's a little bit wild, but so be it. All right, so here's Al Counts. Here's the pitch from Andy. He's a righty again, 43, and that's going to be popped up, middle infield. Burleson and Gritch on the outfield grass, and it's Burleson who calls off Gritch, makes the catch, and that is 1 away. Next up is a guy named, I believe it's Mailer, how you would pronounce his name. And we're not going to bunt anymore. I could have bunted, but I didn't want to bunt with Al Collins. So, and I'm not going to bunt with 1 out. So we're going to just swing away 22. And the 22 will be a hard hit ball at third base. Could be a double play. Ooh, DeCinces. What is DeCinces' arm? If he's a strong arm, it may be... Oh, he is a strong arm at third base. So we're going to have to check. Right here. And the third baseman, that's a strong arm. It's a 1-4, and it's going to be a 5-4-3 double play, and they get out of the inning. 5-4-3. So the Angels with the big double play, and we move on. It is Beatty is going to get pulled as well. He is not a guy that goes complete games either. Didn't have many complete games. We're going to call on, let's see. We're going to call on Stanton, Mike Stanton. So let's grab Stanton. he is. Didn't he go on to play with the Yankees in the late 90s? Or mid to late 90s? All right, there we go. So it's going to be Mike Stanton. We're going to roll for him, and he's got his 4 stuff, which means 3, 2, 2, 4. All right, so Mike Stanton is in there facing the lefty Carew. And here's the pitch. It's a 51. That's a possible error on the shortstop. Todd Cruz. It's a 46. Todd Cruz is towards the end. And a 46 will not be. He's a 25. So he'll pick that up. And an accurate throw to first retires Rod Carew. And next up is Reggie Jackson. Jackson today's 0 for 2 with a walk, a 42, and that'll be a base on balls again for Reggie. 42, no steals there. He wasn't stealing as much anymore. He only had, actually I'm wrong. He had 34. Oh, no. He had 4 out of 9. He attempted 13 stolen bases. All right, here's Bobby Grich, the pitch, a 51, so that's a possible error on the third baseman now. Who is that? Castillo. So Castillo's bats second as a third baseman. He's a 44 error rating, and it's a 66, so that is too high. And otherwise it was, hold on a second. Grich, a 51, a potential double play. Oh, a 6 is not going to be. It's going to be a fielder's choice, 5-4. So it goes to second for 1. No throw to first as Jackson goes in with spikes high. And Grich is on at first. Here's Don Baylor. The pitch. And that's a 45. That's lifted to left. Right there. Can of corn for the left fielder, Bhakti. And we move to the top of the 8th. Jim Essien is up. Andy Hassler with the pitch, 54. We're going to go to the 54 chart. Nobody's on base. 31. 31 is 3 balls, 2 strikes. Catcher K rating. Let's see. What is Boone's K rating? His K rating is a C. So a C means that it's a strikeout or a walk. So on a C, 3 to 6, it's a strikeout. And it's a 5. Strikes out Essien. All right, next up is Dave Henderson. Andy Hassler with a 45, and that will not be yes, it's a base on balls. Plus, he's going to try to steal. There he goes, and that's a 66. So he is out, trying to steal. The throw down from Boone is right on the money. And it's SB, runner on first, out. And let's try that again. SB, runner on first is out. All right. Next is Todd Cruz with 2 outs against Andy Hassler, who is on the verge of his endurance max. 15, and that'll be lifted to right. On the run is Jackson, and Jackson catches up to it. And that retires the side. All right, we go to the bottom of the 8th. Stanton against Doug DeCinces. And the pitch. And that's a 23, which will be a fly ball, center field. Right there is Henderson, 1 away. Rick Burleson's next with a 53, and that's going to be a range play to Cruz, Julio Cruz, who makes a diving attempt, but the ball gets by him for a base hit single. So a single for Burleson. He's on at first. And Boone is a good hit run guy, so there goes the runner. It's a 54. 54 says ground ball to third base. Runner advances, G5. And now the top of the order against Stanton. Mike Stanton gets the sign. Looks over at Burleson at second base. He's ready. Delivers 35 and a 4. Wait a second. A 4 will be a 3-2-2-4. So a 35 will not be a hit. It'll be ripped to right center field. And Cowens makes a nice sliding grab to rob Downing of a hit. And we're pulling our boy Hassler now. We're going to call on our closer in a 3-1 ball game. Coming up is going to be Julio Cruz, Manny Castillo, and Bruce Bochy. Who is our closer? Let's see. Let's find out. We don't have an official closer. We got one guy with 4 saves, another guy, Luis Sanchez, with 5 saves, and we'll call on Luis Sanchez. So let's get Luis Sanchez out here to face the top of the order. The Angels lead by 1. And we're going to roll for him, see what he's got. He's got his best stuff. And let's do it. Here's a pitch to Julio Cruz, which is a 45, and a 45 will be fly ball left field down the line on his horse's Downing, and he makes a fine running catch. Brian Downing in the left field corner. Total disregard for his own safety. He went into the stands practically to get that ball. And that's 1 out now, and up comes Manny Castillo. Here's the pitch. It's a 12, and that's bounced to second base. Easy pickings for Bobby Grich, who's known for his defense. That's 2 away, and the Angels, who are 4 and 5, are 1 out away from victory. And it's Bruce Bochy, the lefty. Here's the pitch, and that is a 34, and it won't be a base hit. It's going to be a bouncer up the middle, and Grich gets there, sets, and over to first in time, and that, my friends, is the ball game. G4. So the Angels win it. 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Angels. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners drop. The Mariners, let's look quickly here at what is what. Mariners drop to 2 and 5. The California Angels improve their record to 5 and 2. Bobby Grich is the player of the game. He went 2 for 3 in his first start of the year. So he plays most of the season. And in the box score, really it was Bobby Grich with 2 hits and Burleson with 2 hits. Beatty takes the loss, 1-1. And the win goes to Zahn. He's 1-0. Hassler picks up a hold. And Sanchez picks up his 2nd save of the season. And that's about it, guys. This is Field Day Baseball. Remember to like and subscribe and join Field Day Baseball Facebook group and Universal Baseball Association Facebook group and all the other affiliated groups. We have plenty. And whatever game you play, there should be a Facebook group for that game. If it's a relatively new game, if it's an old game, we have a couple as well. All right. So thanks a lot for watching, and let me know what you think of Field Day Baseball, and let me know if you think you would enjoy this game. Take care.